The American dream has been shattered, killed, broken into pieces, and quite frankly, it is dead. But guess what? The world is still open. In 2017, 6 months into the United States, I knew that this is not the country that I can call home as an immigrant. And so I looked out. I found a better opportunity, I moved, and I'm much happier as a person. In fact, I made a full video about that, which I'll leave in the description box if you want to check it out. And today, I'm helping you to do the same for yourself. Because while the US is drowning in its self-created chaos of H-1B and the $100,000 drama, the whole world is laying out a red carpet to attract global talent like yourself. So today, let's talk about 5 countries that you should be looking at, along with the specific websites and portals and resources that you can use to help your global dreams come true. And if you like this video, you do not have to like or subscribe. Just share it with a friend that's stuck in the US in their broken American dream. Hello and namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is quite personal, emotional, and I'm actually fumbling. I generally have a lot of strong words, but today's video is so personal because I've spoken about leaving the US and I've spoken about why I made that decision, but I've never really spoken about how I made that decision. It's personal because it feels like life has come to a full circle. I can see that my decision to leave the country 6 years ago was the right decision to take, and I'm hoping that today's video will help many of you make the right decision for yourself. So without much further ado, let's get started. My top 5 choices beyond the US. First up, Germany. Now, the German Chancellor has openly invited foreign nationals, especially Indians, partly because the H-1B drama targets more Indians, because Indians are the ones that generally go on H-1B, 71% of Indians on H-1B. But Germany overall is very open to skilled talent. And in terms of pathways, I'd like to recommend 3. First is the Qualified Employer's Permit, where if you get a job, you don't really need sponsorship from the employer. You can apply for this permit on your own. The second pathway that I would recommend is the German Job Seeker Visa, the Chancenkarte. This one has a bit of a steep requirement. You need to have about 13,000 euros in blocked fund to apply for this. But as long as you have a bachelor's degree and 2 years of experience, this is a great pathway to take. The third visa, which has no language requirement or block fund requirement, is the German freelance visa. It's only 75 euros and it's a 3-year visa that you can take to establish your business, your freelance business in Germany. You can always convert this visa to other work visas as well. Now, getting a job in Germany is difficult only if you're not somebody that's open to integrating into their culture. One of the best ways of doing that is by picking up the language. I'm not going to be dishonest and say that you don't need any German. I really feel that at this point in 2025, if you want to make a career in Germany, German can actually help you differentiate yourself very well. Even in fields where the language is typically not required, knowing the language gives you a competitive edge which many of your competitors won't have. So ideally, a B2 or a B1 German is great if you're trying to establish a career in Germany. Permanent residency here is quick, 3 to 5 years, as long as you are committed to learning the language and excelling in it, and as long as you're committed to integrating into the economy itself. And the best part, the German government itself does a lot of hiring events, and I've actually covered many of these on my Instagram, my TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever you've seen me before, and even on my YouTube channel. I would highly recommend that as a foreign professional, you start off with the Make It in Germany website. I feel it's an excellent website full of a lot of resources, because when you start looking at Germany, there is too much happening on the federal level, then there's a lot happening on the city level, so a lot of programs are being run, and you need to figure out which one of these programs are the best fit for you, which is why I feel the Make It in Germany website is one conduit of all these activities that's happening, and you can, depending on your skill sets, figure out which one is the right one for you. So that's about Germany. My second option that I would like to recommend is Finland. Now, their Type D visa, which is for skilled professionals, is processed in just 2 weeks. And if you're from India, Vietnam, Brazil, or the Philippines, you will be prioritized under their Talent Boost program, where they are actively going out in these countries and hiring. The government is doing all of this directly. So if you're from these countries, then you just need to be on a lookout for the hiring events that are happening. If you're not from these countries, they're doing tons of hiring events online. Finland is actually very active right now, and I'm covering as many events as I can on my Instagram. So make sure you follow me there, or TikTok, wherever you can, because I'll be posting all of it. Tons of events happening in November and December, and that's where I'll be posting. Now let's talk about the permanent residency. Finland recently made it very easy for people to get Finnish permanent residency. You get it in just 4 years. And if you move there as a student, whatever time you spend on your student permit does count towards your PR. So if you spend 2 years or 1 year as a student, then you only need the remaining 4 minus whatever time you spent as a student. That's the amount of time you need to apply for your permanent residency. You would need a job or a business which can show income, and you need language proficiency to get a PR, but easily doable. If you want to get started on researching Finland more, look up the Work in Finland website. Again, an amazing website with a lot of resources for English speakers or non-Finnish speakers from anywhere in the world. Third country with a lot of bias is my home country, Canada. I cannot stress about how different Canada is from the US. A lot of people think that these are similar countries, and that's absolutely untrue. I'm so glad that Canada had its doors open when I was looking for an out. And while it's not the same anymore, there are still ways that you can use to get into this country the right way. So first up, our Prime Minister recently announced that they're putting in some special pathways to get the H-1B talent that's impacted into Canada. I would highly recommend you look that up, monitor the news and see when this pathway is out. Second, Canada has what's called a non-exempt LMIA stream called the Global Talent Stream, the GTS. Highly recommended to anybody that's a techie or in STEM in general. I have a lot of friends that have come to Canada on this particular pathway. No LMIA needed, just 3 weeks processing and super simple. And with this or any other work visa pathway, your dependents, your family can move to Canada with you. If you want to start looking into jobs in Canada, I would highly recommend you go onto the Canadian Job Board. While a lot of people say that these jobs seem to be scammy, the Canadian government and the IRCC are actively working on making sure that these jobs are legitimate. So a lot of work is going on in the background to make sure that these jobs stay legitimate, and that's why higher chance that you apply to these and get through. The fourth country is an unusual country that most people don't think of. This is Singapore. And for techies especially, they launched their Tech Talent Pathway, in which you don't need any employer sponsorship and you can actually work for multiple employers. Applications are fast-tracked, you can move with your family, and it's your choice what you want to do. You can do a business, you can do consulting, or you can work or teach. If you're interested in learning more, just head on to the government portal and look up the Tech Talent Pathway. And my fifth and last option for today is the Netherlands. In Netherlands, over 8,000 organizations have a license to sponsor foreign worker, and the government is giving you this info at no cost. You can go onto the INT website and look for the register of sponsors and start there. Also, there's no language or education requirement. The other benefit of Netherlands is that you can work here without a work permit if you come here on the HSM permit, which is the highly skilled migrant permit, which is work permit exempt. So your employer can just apply for your residence permit and get you here. And yes, as always, you can bring your family here too. If you want to get started with Netherlands, I would highly recommend looking at the government portal, which is Welcome to NL. Absolutely incredible resource full of job portals, a lot of ways to do job hunting, networking, and events. And with that, this video has also come to an end. Let me know your thoughts about this video, or if any of these 5 countries are in your target list. Let me know your questions around that in the comments. And in the end, I want you to remember this one thought that carried me along when I left the US and moved to Canada. The future of work is global. So don't limit yourself to one country's politics, because your talent deserves a borderless dream. I promise to see you in another video where we'll be thrashing more global opportunities together. And until I see you again, please make sure you take care of yourself. Stay safe. Namaste.